What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And you know what, I wanted to make this video because I've been feeling bad about my running lately. And when I say I've been feeling bad, it's not that I've been down on my running, it's that these summer temperatures are just really getting to me, and I've had a really difficult time running in the heat day in and day out. Now, this is mainly because our temperatures have been a little warmer than they usually are. I can't complain too much about summertime in Florida because you have to expect it's going to be warm, but it's been warmer than normal over the last week. So that got me thinking. That got me thinking about training in these hot temperatures and how it's going to benefit me, and how training in warm temperatures is going to benefit you, especially moving forward into the autumn, into the winter running season when the big races happen. Come on. So research has shown that there is an optimum marathon time. That is the perfect temperature, the Goldilocks zone to run a marathon. And that's between 44 degrees Fahrenheit and 59 degrees Fahrenheit, all between about 7 and 15 Celsius. 2/3 of the course records set at the Boston Marathon have been below 56 degrees Fahrenheit. And you know what is just as bad as running in hot weather? Folding a fitted sheet. It is an absolute nightmare. So 2/3 of course records at the Boston Marathon have been set under 56 degrees, but 1/3 of those records have been set under 46 degrees. Clearly, our bodies operate better in cold weather. So in this video, we are going to be talking about the benefits that training in the heat bring you when it comes time to perform in the cool weather. This is going to be great because we're all training through hot temperatures at one time of the year or another. And hopefully when it comes to race day, we're going to get temperatures in that Goldilocks zone and our performance is going to be through the roof. So that's what we're talking about. So this morning's run was a scorcher. Today I knocked out 15 miles, which is towards the longer of my weekly runs, but I did it at a very easy pace. And like all my other runs that I do every day of the week, I was surprised at my effort level, my perceived effort level. Because when I look at my pace, when I'm looking at my watch and I see my heart rate and my pace is very slow, relatively. My heart rate is also pretty low. I'm generally staying in zone 2 for the majority of my runs, maybe creeping into the lower end of zone 3. But the effort always feels a lot harder in the heat. So what is it doing for me? What is it doing for you when you run in the heat? When you put in those hours, log in those miles in the hot temperatures, get in that time on your feet when you know it's not going to feel good because the temperature is just uncomfortably warm. Well, it turns out you get some pretty good benefits from that discomfort. And remember, if it were easy, everyone would do it. There is an old cross-country adage that championships are won in the summer. And that's because these cross-country athletes are training through the summer. And when it comes time for cross-country season, they are primed, they are heat trained, and they're ready to go. So much like a car, our bodies perform better in cooler temperatures. Obviously, our bodies have to work less to keep our body cool. And basically, when you're running in the heat, your body is at a battle. It's at a battle to send blood to the muscles, to give you the energy to move forward, and sending blood to your skin to cool down. It's a battle of thermoregulation going on inside you for your whole run. So what happens when you don't have enough blood? Your blood, it should be going to your muscles to power your run. Your blood needs to go to your skin to keep you cool. What happens? Your body produces more blood plasma, which allows your blood to stay cool when it comes to the surface of your skin, and it allows your muscles to be fully oxygenated. So heat training is like a legal blood doping. But that's really not the end of the story. Although by running in the heat you are getting heat acclimated, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to run the same pace or the same effort that you do when it's cool out. Well, you should be running at the same effort because your runs should be judged by effort rather than pace. So what I'm saying is a 8-minute mile might feel good when it's cold out, but a 10-minute pace might feel like the same effort in the heat. So let's talk numbers, because that is why you guys are here. Up until this point, I have just been telling you something that you've probably figured out on your own. It is a lot harder to run in hot temperatures than it is to run in cold temperatures. But there was a study that looked at 6 marathons, 3 in Europe, 3 in the States. They looked at about 1.8 million participants, and they came up with some pretty good results. Results of how we slow down as the temperature increases. The study found some actual surprising differences between how temperatures affect people, and it's based on whether you are male or female and how fast you run. But the study used 59 degrees as the baseline, so anything above that, performance started to decrease. And they found that runners that average 5:45 a mile pace, which is 3:34 a kilometer pace, they slowed down 1 second a mile per each increase of 1 degree Celsius. That's 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit. So for every 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit the temperature got above 59 degrees Fahrenheit, the runners would slow down by 1 second off their pace. Using my run this morning as an example, the temperature was 79 degrees Fahrenheit when I went out. 79 degrees is 20 degrees over 59 degrees Fahrenheit, which means that runners that average 5:45 a mile or 3:34 a kilometer would have slowed down 11 seconds a mile over running in temperatures of 59 degrees. And while that's all well and good, I don't run at a 5:45 pace. I might touch that during a 5K, but that's so far away from me at this point that I can't even think about it. But get this, the study also found that runners that average between 7:25 a mile and 10 minutes a mile, or 4:37 to 6:13 per kilometer pace, get this, those runners slowed down an average of 4 to 4.5 seconds per each increase of 1 degree Celsius. I'm listening to myself and it sounds very clunky. So if your average pace is between 7:25 a mile and 10 minutes a mile, which is a lot of you out there, I certainly fall into that range. With each 1 degree Celsius or 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit increase in temperature, our pace is going to slow by 4 to 4.5 seconds. So my run today, where I averaged 8:37 a mile over those 15 miles, if I slowed down 4 seconds per mile for each 1.8 Fahrenheit increase, I would have slowed down 44 seconds. So again, that is a very clunky way of saying that I would have run that same run 44 seconds quicker per mile if the temperature was 59 degrees than I did today. That would have brought my pace down to 7:53 a mile, which actually is right in line for about a 3:15 marathoner going out for their long run. Pretty comfortable pace to just log those long miles. So I'm actually pretty pleased with that result. That result kind of makes me think that my fitness is right in line where I thought it would be, even though I'm finding it very difficult to run in these warm temperatures. But that's not all. All that does is tell us how our performance is going to decline as the temperature goes up. What happens when we train in these warm temperatures and then we race in cooler temperatures? How does that work? Well, my friends, you and I are not the first persons to think of this. There was a study, albeit a very limited study. They took 20 cyclists. They put half those cyclists training in the heat. They used half the cyclists as a control group. The cyclists that would train in the heat, they would cycle at 50% of their VO2 max in 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So 104 degrees Fahrenheit, it's pretty warm, but 50% of your VO2 max is not a big effort. So what the study is telling us so far is that you don't have to go out there and thrash it in the hot temperatures. Now in the experiment, the riders both in the heat and the control group, they would ride for 45 minutes, they take a 10-minute break, and then they ride for another 45 minutes. And it's important to point out that the cyclists used in this study, this acclimation riding was in addition to their regular training mileage. So after they did this experiment, after they had the control group and the people riding in 104 degrees Fahrenheit, like an oven, they took the cyclists and they put them into a controlled setting where the temperature was 55 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 12.8 degrees Celsius. Not super chilly, but obviously a lot colder than 104 degrees. The results were pretty surprising. The riders that did their sessions in the heat, and there were 10 of them, remember those 10 45 minutes, 10-minute break, 45 minutes, 10 of them at 104 degrees. The riders that were in that group improved their performance at the cool temperatures by 4 to 8%. The control group showed no improvement at all. So while some of you might be thinking, Matt, 4 to 8%, I don't know, it doesn't sound like much. I want you to take your half marathon or your marathon PB and I want you to take off 8%. And I think you'd be pretty happy with that. Now, I realize 8% is the high end of the spectrum, but when I'm talking about sensational numbers, I'm always going to use the best numbers. This small improvement, this small 4 to 8% improvement is especially important for you runners, not just trying to get a PB, but trying to get into a specific race. Boston, I'm looking at you. 4 to 8% is a giant leap in performance, especially when you're trying to get to that end goal where there is a time limit. There was one more study that I found. I only found the abstract, I couldn't access the whole study, but this study used elite swimmers. And it found that the swimmers that trained in tropical climates performed 10% better than those swimmers that performed in temperate climates. Now, my friends, I don't have any more data on that study, but 10%, it's a nice round number just for training in the heat. So my friends, I want to know from you, how are you enjoying running in the hot summer temperatures? Are you expecting big gains once the temperature starts to drop? Do you have any big goals in the fall? Let me know in the comments below. My friends, my name's Matt and I make running videos at least twice a week. Be kind, be happy, run well. I'll see you guys in a couple of days.